Alright, quick update on Bitcoin. It looks like we're finally starting to get ready for that next breakdown like we've been talking about on the channel, and it also looks like we've just completed another liquidity grab. Let's talk about all of this and more. So on the daily time frame, we've been looking at this chart where we've basically been forming this bearish pennant, and you can see we poked our head above this and had a failed move. Now, as we always discuss on the channel, what happens when you have a failed move? You have a fast move in the opposite direction. We had a failed move outside the pennant here, came back for a back test, fast move in the opposite direction. We had a failed breakout of the pennant here. What's happening right now? Well, we're not really having a fast move, but I believe we're going to get ready to start having that fast move in the opposite direction down to that price target I've been talking about. We've got a Fibonacci down here at 15,100, and we are currently in a Bitcoin trade that we plan on taking profit at 15,200 to front run the market in terms of this Fibonacci down here. Now, also, you know, we've been looking at this volume profile right in the middle of this range, which interestingly lines up with 16,800, where we basically got rejected for 3 days in terms of the candle bodies. Now, when we zoom out a little bit further, you can see history is just repeating itself again and again and again. We had an accumulation range over here, and we're having a smaller accumulation range over here. Now, basically, as soon as we came up and lost this volume profile, we were absolutely boned. You can see we flipped beneath this, we didn't hold it as support, and we absolutely started melting through the floorboards. And then when we do zoom in, this is the same chart now as this bearish pennant. It's kind of on the flip side, because back here we were actually showing strength. Oh, wrong chart, just needed to zoom out. Over on this chart, we were actually showing strength in this range. We were holding the volume profiles, holding them, and then we fell beneath them. But in this range, you know, bulls are acting like we're more bullish than ever, but you know, the volume profiles are right here at 16,800, and for the majority of this accumulation range, we've been trading beneath them. Now, we did manage to poke above them, back test them, and push up earlier, have a failed move, which is the move that we see over on this pennant here. Failed move equals a fast move in the opposite direction. But right now, we've just pushed up to this VPVR zone where the most amount of volume has been accumulated in this range, and we've perfectly hit the nail on the head and started to roll back down to the downside. So I'm still in my Bitcoin trade, 16,500. I'm still very confident that we're going to come down to 15,200. And before we do look at the oscillators for Bitcoin and wrap up this video, because this is just going to be a quick one, I do also want to point out that every 4-hourly candle that passes, the S&P 500, specifically the E-mini futures for the S&P 500, get weaker and weaker and weaker. We talked about this in about 12 hours ago, decision time for the S&P 500. It is really getting close right now. We've bounced up and made a lower high, come up into the 4-hourly EMA ribbons, and we're absolutely melting through the floorboards right now. This chart really looks dire, and I don't believe that we're going to hold the floor of this diamond pattern for much longer. We're basically waiting, you know, forget what Bitcoin does, because Bitcoin follows the S&P 500. As soon as the S&P 500 starts tanking, specifically the E-mini futures, once it starts tanking beneath 3,824, back testing it and heading down, it's going to be curtains for the S&P 500, and Bitcoin is finally going to break to the downside of this pennant. Now, how quickly can this happen? Let's check out the oscillators and find out. So in terms of the MFI, we had a downtrend on here a while ago. It resets every time I reset the oscillators. You can see a line of best fit here: rejection, 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 quick move, failed move equals a fast move in the opposite direction, back down, rejection. And we've come back up to this, and we actually, over on the MFI, exceeded the heart line. We pushed above 52, which basically means we pushed into somewhat bullish areas of liquidity for the MFI. So bulls basically took over in the lower time frames, and we got rejected from the heart line, and we are now falling beneath 50, which is a very bearish sign. Let's look at the stochastic RSI. The stochastic RSI, both of the moving averages for the stock have just pushed above 80. What happened the last time we pushed above 80 for the stock? Well, we chopped for a bit. What happened when we topped out and we finally flipped back beneath 80? We were all the way up here at 18,400 or so before heading back down to the downside. So right now, the stochastic is looking like it's getting ready to come up, and both moving averages are looking to cross back beneath each other and take a huge run to the downside. There is plenty of bearish momentum to be had in these markets, judging by the MFI, which means that liquidity is overextended. The relative strength of the market is overextended. The stochastic RSI is pushing up into overextended territory, getting ready for that next macro move. Well, I say macro, we're on the daily time frame, getting ready for that next slaughter fest back down to the downside. And really wrapping up the video. Like I said, it's going to be a quick one because I've done quite a lot of analysis on Bitcoin, and I've already prepped you for the bigger picture. You know, I've told you how I think about this pattern, how I think it's going to play out. I've told you, you know, in this video we did technical analysis. I really don't need to do too much TA on Bitcoin right now, just a quick update, but you can see that the squeeze momentum indicator is coming back to the heart line. This basically means that as this is neutral right now, we're in neutral territory in a bear market, which basically means there is a lot of room to move back down for the squeeze momentum indicator. It's not looking good. In the higher time frames, we made a video yesterday talking about the fact that everyone is getting bullish at 16,800. These same people that were bullish were the same people that swore we'd never break beneath Bitcoin's previous all-time high at 19,700. Now, we don't even have enough strength to push up and reject from Bitcoin's previous all-time high. But what are we pushing up and rejecting from? This double 786 Fibonacci from swing low to swing high, swing low to swing high, basically 2018 bear market lows and 2020 capitulation. We're literally, as you can see, we held it as a candle body close, we broke beneath it, and last month we got a candle body close rejection on the 786 Fibonacci. And if we come over to the weekly, you can see since we broke beneath this floorboards, rejection, 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 broke down, and right now we're showing extreme weakness in the higher time frames and also the lower time frames. That's all I've got for you for this video, my friends. Keep your eyes on the E-mini futures for the S&P 500. I've made an educational video on this in my playlist, so if you do want to learn more about this, come over to my educational series and you can learn why I use the E-mini futures. There's a video here, how to S&P 500 E-mini futures. If you don't know what these are, you don't know what they correlate to, you don't know how to get this chart, and you want to learn more about this, then be sure to go and check out that video. But right now, the E-mini futures are getting ready, in my opinion, to break through the floorboards and drag Bitcoin back down to the downside with it. That's all I've got for you for this video, my friends. As always, if you do appreciate the content, let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. And if you want more economic data, posts, memes, charts, and more about my personal life, especially when I'm away from the channel, I do post over here when I can't, you know, obviously I'm not at home glued to my chair, strapped into the chair, making TA videos every single day. I go outside and I have a life. So sometimes things happen and I can't update you instantly on YouTube. If stuff like that happens, I'll update you over on my Twitter first, at 618_cowboy. All I've got for you today. Hope to see you over there. As always, it's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.